If you're a parent looking to help your child be more confident in the water, here are 3 ways that you can do that are stress-free and enjoyable for the both of you. First up, we have water familiarization through play. So make this a party. This needs to be the most enjoyable experience your child has ever had. You know that excitement that you felt the first time your husband did a load of washing that you didn't have to ask him to do? Bring that kind of excitement. So I'm talking colorful toys, cups, anything that floats. You know those cups with the holes in the bottom that you can make it rain? Kids love that game. Getting them the water on their face. It's just about them understanding their environment and enjoying it, associating happy feelings with being in the water. Also getting them to blow bubbles helps with their breath control. And no matter what anyone says, you don't have to worry about teaching your small child to blow bubbles. I've taught my child to blow bubbles since he could physically do it. And when I take him to do proper swimming lessons, he still manages to hold his breath when getting him to do kicks and paddles. So you don't have to worry about your child then inhaling unnecessary water. It's fine. Teach your kid how to blow bubbles. They love it. Floating and balance games. So floating is obviously a huge one for safety reasons. Teaching them how to float also helps them understand their body in space. Floating on your back can feel as though you're falling. So lots of contact, lots of support. If they're floating for the first time and figuring that out, you want, like I said, as much contact as possible. So contact with their head against your chest, your hand on the back of their neck and their back, nice and close to you. They need that contact. And as they get more comfortable and confident, you can slowly start to edge away from your chest, removing a hand off the back first. The last thing to leave their body is the hand from the back of them. Kids in that position feel their most secure and support when you have the head. So that's the last one to let go. And it's usually it's a slowly gradual. When they're floating on their back, if they're really scrunched and you're having trouble getting them out on your back, you can also lay them on your shoulder. And also if they're in front of you, you can just encourage them to look at you. So if they're really scrunched or they're sinking from the hips, it's probably because their face is facing their feet. So we need to get that head nice and flat. So looking straight up or even back at you. Chin up, tummy up, hips up. But you can use tummy up, hips up when they're older. When they're really little, like 1 and 2, it's just, you just touch their chin and bring their chin back. They look at mommy, look at daddy. That's pretty much it. Keep it nice and simple. Keep it simple, things that they can understand for their age. And balance games, floating comes into that, but also just letting them to, if your pool or your local pool has most of them have like a learn to swim pool with a ledge in it, let them walk up and down the ledge freely. Just follow them and always be with arm's reach. But just walk up, let them understand what their body feels like moving through the water. If they stumble and accidentally put their face in the water, it's okay, don't panic. Just pick them up straight away and bounce them around and big smiles and make it happy. There may be a few tears because it may have just given them a fright, especially if you know that your child is quite apprehensive about water. But just make it super happy and pop them back down and encourage them to walk again. Don't end the game on a negative note. So if they get really upset, that's okay. Just try again. Hold their hand. Whatever it is that they feel they need to be comfortable, you can hold their hand and do it. Okay? It's the same for any activity where they accidentally do something that they didn't mean to do and it's given them a fright. Don't want to end on that. Let's end on a positive note. And if for any reason you can't get them off you, like they're clung to you for 10 minutes and you just can't, that's okay. You can only do what you can do. Go to another activity. Just make it fun, end on that activity, and then hop out. So we want to always, when you've decided you're going to leave the pool, you've got 5 minutes left or whatever you're doing, make it really, really, really fun. So the last thing they think about that they did was exciting. Now, if you've started these activities, your kid's a little bit older, so maybe 4, 5, 6, 7, floating on their back, you can hold them exactly the same way. Even from the side, So one hand under the neck and one hand under the hips, and they're floating that way. You can do that as well. You can also get them to hug a kickboard laying back, which also then allows you to help them manipulate their head and their hips. And as they get more confident, they can put one arm out and then eventually let go. Or you can also use a noodle underneath their hips, and then you can just support their head if they feel like they need that as well. But we don't really use those aids for when they're really, really little, because you can hold them almost everywhere. They're so tiny. But as they get bigger, it gets harder. So then that's when we start to use those aids. So developing this buoyancy and balance is really important when learning to swim, not just for safety reasons, but just being able to understand how you move through the water, that you're not falling, being able to link strokes together, and this balance and buoyancy plays into all of it. So if you want your child to be able to move through the water confidently through their strokes as they get older, building this buoyancy right now and that balance is really important. It also helps with building their core strength, because core strength helps with balance. Okay, and the last one is gentle submersions and retrieval games. So when we do submersions for the first time, we all start the same way, no matter how old your child is, unless they're happy to just go ahead and put their face in the water. But if they're afraid, we all start the same way. So we start with cup submersions. So starting at the hand and working all the way up over their head and down the other side. Usually we'll start from the back of the head first and just slowly move the water forward over their face. Okay, and once they get more comfortable, you can move on and progress and push forward. When we're doing our cup submersions, you also want to make sure that we're giving them the cue, and that way we use the cue then for every activity that involves them putting their face in the water, so they understand what's coming and that they need to hold their breath. So usually the cue would be, I would say to my son, Harvey, 1, 2, 3, and then I pull the water over his face. And then eventually it gets to the point where I go, Harvey, 1, 2, 3, and he'll automatically close his eyes and close his mouth. And if they've reached that point where they automatically close their eyes and mouth when you go to put the cup of water over their head, it's time to move on. It's time to progress. And that means putting them in the water to you or to the wall. Only for 1 second though. We keep it nice and short and sharp, and we slowly progress to the amount of time that they spend underwater. And I need to remind you that you must always be within arm's reach or hands-on when they are learning their submersions or swimming or doing any activity that is in the water. Okay, because things can go wrong. They can inhale water, and we just need to be vigilant at all times. When doing submersions, once they're ready to move on from the cup, you can also use toys and things to kind of take their mind off it if they're nervous going from the cup to putting their face in the water. Again, just toys on the ledge. And remember to celebrate everything, even if they only get their chin in the water and manage to reach the toy. My son is known for that. Celebrate everything. Remember, it's the effort, not the achievement of said skill. When practicing submersions, just make sure that you're doing it in a shallow pool where you yourself, the one doing all the work, can stand properly. At no point do we want you being on your tippy toes, and just too much to manage, and things can go wrong. So always in shallow water that you have your feet firmly on the ground and are able to easily maneuver your child through the water safely. This is how you can help your child become more confident in the water. That's stress-free and easy for everyone involved. But remember that this isn't drown-proofing, but I'll go through that in my next video with you. If you enjoyed today's video, I really think that you will enjoy this one as well up on the screen.